Ooh, wasabi gangsters, it's me, Chance Dillon, here to talk about books. And we're going to get through some reading really quick. Let's get that out of the way, and then we'll get to my writing later in the video. And I will warn you when we're there for all those here just for the reading. I don't know if the sun in the back is annoying or not. I'm hoping that it's not, but we will see. I progressed through Dust of Dreams. We're up to chapter 12 now, which I think is about page 565, 566. And again, thoroughly enjoying this story. I'm very slowly moving through it. His chapters are very long, and there's only 24 in the whole story. Usually, up to this point, it's only been 24 chapters in each book, I believe. So we're just about at the halfway point. I'd say about like 47% done with Dust of Dreams. Thoroughly still enjoying it. We are with some characters in new positions, potentially some of power, and there's some familiar characters that, again, we're still getting to know in the story a little bit deeper, and we're starting to sort of see this full circle of a particular group that we really, really loved in earlier books, and how they navigated. I don't really want to ruin it, so I'm not going to say anything more. But we're just starting to see some parallels being drawn between people who have been in a career field for a longer period of time and people that are just getting into a career field. Let's just say that. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And then I read Phoenix. I should really have known this before I got into it. I read the first short story in the Conan the Chimera, The Coming of Conan the Chimera. Wow, I really should have. Okay, The Phoenix on the Sword is the first short story in the Conan, The Coming of Conan the Chimera. And Cimmerian. Wow. The prose that Robert E. Howard has in this book, and I think it was written in the 1930s, which is just freaking insane. This is like such a modern yet poetic, yet it's so hard to explain the style. It's beautiful. It is really worth picking up. Such a great short story. We're doing a read-along group discussion with the Book Street Boys Discord. You guys can go and join that. It's in the description below. And yeah, man, I am thoroughly enjoying this. Jake from Nerd Level Rising, and I believe Zachary Shea. Oh, I hope those are the two that really were the inspirations for getting this thing going, of the Book Street Boys. And we're all tearing through it. I believe we have The Frost Giant is the one I'm going to be reading this weekend, but I'm doing one a week. And I believe there's going to be a discussion at some point. I don't know if it's a live discussion, a recorded discussion, but I know that we will be having a discussion of some sort. We are having an active discussion every day as people finish the story in that group. And it is absolutely phenomenal to kind of get a time capsule, really, and experience these stories for the first time, because I'd never read them. And Robert E. Howard's prose, again, is so beautiful and intricate in such a unique way. It's addicting. It's addicting to read. But thoroughly enjoying that so far. I am currently also in the middle, probably about 70% done with The Sound of Starfall. I know it's silly that I'm in 70% done with a novella, but I have, I believe, one quote-unquote chapter left. And by the way, first of all, the covers are fantastic for this series. The Last Ballad by Scott Palmer. His prose is beautiful. The story itself is dark, and it is actually a very cool set piece that he puts us in this novella, sort of right away. And when we're thrown into a set piece like this in a novella, it just sort of opens up and it feels like a preview of what the series is. I believe it's going to be a 7-book series, and I think the first 2 books are out. I think this novella is the first one out. I think there's another one that's either out or coming out. But Scott Palmer, man, can he write? And what a fantastic book so far. Yeah, and indie books, I'm telling you, mine are indie, but indie is like, you are getting to see and experience a lot of stories that otherwise you wouldn't have had the opportunity to. Just know that those who write out there in the world, there's more people writing great stories than there are people able to get to them, right? Actually, and I think it's important to just remember that. And as you kind of go into experiencing any story, it's really cool to keep in mind just the experience of the author and what they went through to get to the point of publication, as speaking just for myself. And it's fascinating. The amount of hard work that went into this, you can tell on every page from Scott Palmer's The Last Ballad so far. This is a series that I really want to read. The first book, I believe, is called A Memory of Song, is the first book. And I want to read that by the midway point of this year. Hopefully I'm able to get to it, but I do have a bunch of big books before then. I'm finishing up a few series, thankfully. But this one is one I would like to begin, even though this is currently the beginning for me. This I would like to parallel probably with Ryan Cahill's Dragon Rider, because this is more dark. I think I can sort of compare the two. Now, that said, Ryan Cahill's stories, of course, has dark elements. but we get a little bit more Dragon Rider action in there. And then I just read a couple chapters out of Berserk, the 9th deluxe edition here. It's been a while since I've returned to this universe. It is incredibly dark. Obviously, the part that I had stopped at, we're like tearing apart trolls, which is freaking sick. And especially the way that we sort of saw this transition. I'm hoping I'm not spoiling anything here, but we sort of saw this transition for Guts. I'm going to try not to spoil anything. In his personality, in the way that he handles conflict, in the conflict that he's actually experiencing, and this conflict that we're seeing in terms of just tearing apart trolls is really opening something up for me. When I put this down and I closed it, we're at a place where, Kentaro Miura has created some horrific monsters. I can't explain it without maybe spoiling something, but let's just say like the entrails of dead creatures create something. Let's just say that. And that's that. And I said it. I also wanted to show off something because I got this in the mail. I ordered it when I went to the tour for Jay Kristoff signing here in New York. They had this tour cover, which I'm really hoping Jay from Nerd Level Rising just sees and gets mad at me for the most part. It's really why I'm showing it. I should have gotten 2. And honestly, if I really should have thought about that and ordered another one for him because he loves this series. He just finished this book up. This is probably the next book on my TBR after The Crippled God. And I'm currently in the middle of Dust of Dreams. So I have a little bit till I get to this, but just look at that. That one is on my desk when I write. And I have it facing out. It's just a beautiful cover. And wow. Just a fascinating story, fascinating prose from Jay Kristoff and Empire of the Dawn, and Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned. I cannot wait to get to Empire of the Dawn. So I'm going to talk about Mercy Ills the Fate really quick. As far as updates are concerned, let's actually talk about the 3rd volume of Mercy, because this week I actually wrote a short story of a beloved character, one that I love, and then one that other readers have expressed to me that they love. I wrote a short story from this character's perspective. And as I was sitting there writing it, I'm like, this is a perfect introduction to an anthology of between books 2 and 3. I think it'll be perfect. And then as I finished it, I really was like, man, this just belongs at the beginning of book 3. It just does. And it perfectly thematically captures what we're going for. It sets up the scale to the entire 3rd volume in a way that I really wasn't expecting when I sat down to write it, and it shocked me. And what the 3rd volume, by the way, is about 20,000 words, so we're about 10% through the draft of the 3rd volume. I'm going to be diving back into copy edit, so of course it's going to take a back seat. I'm going to try and get 1,000 or 2 words into this 3rd volume today. I think I'm just going to focus on the 3rd volume. I really wanted to write this anthology, but I just have a feeling I'm going to write things that belong in the 3rd book. So I feel like maybe I should just write the 3rd book instead. So that's just sort of where my heart's at, and my heart is going to stay. Although that is an anthology I would like to return to. At the very least, there are 4 other stories that I had planned for that anthology that I would like to write, and hopefully they'll see the light of day no matter what. So yes, I get Mercy Ills the Fate back, I believe this week, from the copy editor Gracie York at the York Editing Guild. We had something with my other proofreader. In terms of scheduling, there's a conflict, so we're still working with the York Editing Guild for the proofread. After I get through the copy editing, the goal is to push first of all, you guys are going to get the arc. We're going to format it by hopefully February 5th, February 10th, you guys will have the advanced reader copies. You can go to the website, chancedillonauthor.com. There's an ARC sign-up form there. It should also be in the description box below, but my sister put a lot of work onto the website, and I want you to go check it out. It is beautiful. She absolutely crushed it. And then also sign up for my newsletter if you aren't already. You get the first 4 chapters of Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. You get the Blood Rebellion short story, which is a short story that takes place before the beginning the events of Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. It's in universe, and it just sort of gives you a taste of just the scope of what we're trying to land here. The beta reader feedback so far from Ills of Fate. I think I got a full email from one of my beta readers last week when he finished the book, and he absolutely adored it, and it is insane. I mean, when I was writing this book, okay, and I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to be biased, and I know you guys can take it with a grain of salt because I'm the one who wrote it, so of course I'm going to talk it up. I have a large passion for story and quality story and pacing and rhythm and sort of just how things hit at certain points. And obviously I've had a lot of help to get to this point. and I've learned from a lot of other authors who I love reading. I've learned from Dave Butler, my developmental editor, Gracie York, and Annette Beatwell, just a ton of people along the way, all the alpha readers who were part of the process this time around. And when I sat down and wrote this specifically book 2, Ills the Fate, I just had a very strange feeling about it. And I don't know how else to say it. It obviously, when you write, I believe you write stories that you want to read. And this book in particular is just everything that I'm looking for in a story. And that is all I can say. And I'm just really excited for other people to experience it and for my test readers to get back to me with feedback, live feedback even. I have another test reader who's getting into it now, who is actually going to be joining me on the editorial team when we move to the 3rd volume. And yes, I mean, just to hear the feedback, to hear the fine-tooth comb being scraped through the book, the story, my test readers are really trying to find problems with it. And it's a challenge, which is good to hear. That's really good feedback to hear. Obviously, we are finding 1 or 2 things that will come up, and some major things that maybe we can add in that'll make the story even better, and which is actually really cool. And I think sort of a blind spot that hit me in this book, in particular with a particular character's journey, and we're going to kind of get that in this copy edit phase. We're going to line edit it together. But anyways, I am just blown away by the feedback, and I cannot wait to bring this book to you guys. I really cannot. And I know I'm saying all this, and you guys can come back and be like, man, that was a hot piece of garbage. I'm fully aware of that. Confidently, I can say that I am proud of what Mercy Ills the Fate is and how it closes out the first arc of this duology. And I say duology, for those of you who don't know, Mercy is a 4-volume duology, meaning books 1 and 2 are an arc, books 3 and 4 are an arc. And I'm just so excited. I'm so freaking excited. And after writing that short story that actually ended up being a part of the before for book 3, I'm even more excited. I don't really know what else to say, guys. Yeah, that's the update for this week. I'm going to do some Patreon updates, by the way. So if you're a Runeborn member over on my Patreon, we get early artwork updates. And that's really the only thing we've implemented so far. You guys see artwork early, and I haven't really been introducing any other value other than that. So what I will be doing, I will be putting a beta reader edition of Mercy Ills the Fate, the before and chapters 1 and chapter. I'm probably actually just going to put the first 5 for my Runeborn members, so you guys can go and experience up to a particular character who I introduce in book 2, and then we'll pause it there. I'm going to make it just a simple PDF. It's not formatted yet, but Abel Montero, the author of The Crimson Fire, is going to be getting to that as soon as I'm done with the copy edits for the ARC readers, and I'll probably update the first 5 chapters for those of you out there who are Runeborn members to experience early. I will probably consider even doing a post-proofread edition on there for people who just want to look into it before they purchase or whatever. And then I probably will also be putting first draft materials onto the Runeborn members page just so you guys get some more value there. I will be putting the before. I'm going to wait for book 2 to launch. So post March 31st, you guys will see whatever draft we're on of the 3rd volume of the book at that point, which probably still will be the first draft. I will put the before, which is, I believe, roughly 20 pages into the Runeborn Patreon members situation. And there are also 2 other pieces of artwork that you guys will see. Runeborn members early and potentially some marketing materials for the launch editions of these books in the coming months. And also, I will be putting my newsletter, my regular newsletter I usually put to Patreon. I just started this past week. What I'll do is the week before, that newsletter will be available through Patreon with these videos attached to it on Friday, but it will be the weeks prior. So the newsletter people will get priority in terms of reading because regular Patreon members will have access to my writing updates. That's also more for the website for people who want to be in touch and so on and so forth. But the people who are subscribed to my newsletter will get a week in advance the actual newsletter that I do, sort of a reflection of everything that's going on that you guys are hearing in this video, but just in a written form, which is also, again, cathartic for me. It means a lot to me to sit there and just write. And that's it. I'm going to end the video, guys, because I'm realizing it's getting dark. My ring light is busted, and I'm going to do my quick 90-second video over for the social medias. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me in this long form video. It's been real. It's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. So, all right. You guys are making this weird.